Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and welcome today to ARK Survival Evolved, where today we're going to be talking about breeding. Now there's a couple of reasons why you do breeding, and we're going to choose our good friend Pebbles here, breed him up, because, well, dodos are also very useful for breeding as well. Now, a couple of things we need to know. Number one, we need to know what gender we already have. Obviously we have a male, so we're now looking for a female dodo for our taming. And also, we want somebody roughly around his level. If you have too high a level, it mixes things up a little bit. But you can sometimes get a good boost if you're good. There's a few other things as well we want to look at when we're doing specific tames. But because we're doing a dodo tame, I'm not going to worry too much about them today. And also, just give you a chance to just kind of get used to the taming before we go into things like, you know, stat boosting and stuff like that. But if you were interested, I'll just do a quick overview of it. But basically, when you breed, I believe it's up to 3 stats will transfer across each dodo. Sometimes you can get massive boosts on them, and obviously depending on what your taming setting, so your breeding setting is for your server, can give you some very good boosts in stats. So just bear that in mind, because especially things like if you have classic flyers on for your flight dinosaurs, then obviously when you breed, you increase your flight speed. Dinosaurs that are doing damage, like a trike out there would be melee damage that we want. But just bear that in mind. But obviously, with us being so low, and we've obviously only got a few dinosaurs, we want to tame our Pebbles because he can give us eggs, or not him personally, but the female dodo can give us eggs, and we can get kibble from them, and we can also get more dodos, give us more eggs. So, today is what we're going to do. For Pebbles, we are going to get you a girl to shake her tail feather at you. So, be right back. Let's go and find ourselves a dodo. Another reason why I've chose the dodo is because obviously there's so many of them around. Like so. What are you? Male dodo. Now, obviously, we need to make sure that we have... No, so... Because I forgot dodos are so easy to tame. Oh, look at that. A dodo. Lots of male dodos. Now, what you can do is, if you are, obviously, taming them, you can go ahead and get in there for a start. You can go ahead and you can... that'll be fine. Do we have our... Don't have the club. Can we make the club? I don't want to hit them with an arrow because it will probably kill them. Oh, what am I looking at? Okay. Did we not get there? Oh, we'll punch you with our fist. Fine. It's gonna be solo level anyway. That we'll probably get it in one hit. Okay. Let's find ourselves a female dodo. The only downside to trying to find dodos is they're so bloody small sometimes you right past them. Oh, we need to get them off shops at some stage. Okay, so we managed to find ourselves a female dodo just across the pond here. Gonna knock you out. There we go. Knocked out. Inventory. Bill. Where is it? Wait for the taming, as usual. Now, obviously, we're all low level here, so we don't need to worry about really the taming effectiveness at this level. You know, things like that. Don't worry about that at this level. We're just going to get some breeding, just, you know, to get the practice in. And you can do this as many times as you want as well. And certainly when you start doing multiple breeding of the offspring and stuff like that, you start finding yourself getting quite used to doing it. The taming shouldn't take too long now. One more, I believe. Roll a dash. I'll pick her up. I'll run back with her. Come. Swim. There you go. We didn't need to carry her if we didn't want to. She'll follow. We'll get ourselves back over. Come on, Dash. We'll pick her up. Whilst not holding her in our hands, because that's how ARK rolls. And we're just going to pop her up here. Pop her down there. There we go. We're going to, first of all, put the behaviour out. Stance is attack the target. We'll put it on passive. Again, behaviour. We don't really need to worry about any of this, but what we do want to worry about is enable mating. Now that we've enabled mating, we now need to remove the follow, which we can do by pressing U. So she's now ready to mate. Now, if you just leave her as she is, she will just basically pump out eggs, and we're going to need them at some stage, but right now we don't. Right now we need mating, because we want to obviously expand on that. We're going to go ahead and now go to our pebbles, behaviour, and enable mating. And straight away you'll notice they will both mate with each other. Now, the reason why they're doing that is because they're in range of each other. If you have them like miles apart, they won't do this. You've got to be in close distance. One of the things I did realise is they actually mate while not following or not wandering or anything like that. So you can just sit them wherever you want, and you can just basically we don't need it now. They can, you know, just have them like this. So they'll mate, and hopefully we'll see it. Not too. Yeah, there you go. So it's building up quite nicely there. So we'll just fast forward here quickly until they have mated, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, and as you can see, our female dodo, not the male one obviously, the female one has dropped us a little egg. Oh, I did not mean to hit you, sorry. As you can see, it'll just say pick up there, so we can pick it up. Like so, and we've got a fertilized dodo egg. If you need fertilized eggs, that's how you do it. Now, a couple of things we need to note here. Number one is, depending on your server settings, will depend on how quickly you can make the dodo, which is why we want to have a little bit of a dodo farm going sooner rather than later. But also, if you want to stop the mating, all you need to basically do is, if you've got, say, 2 females and 1 male, is you just need to disable the mating on the male, and the 2 females will sit there saying ready to mate. And vice versa, obviously, if you disable all the females, then the males won't be able to do anything, so just make note of that in case you want to stop it, because if you leave it as is, you'll have eggs popping out everywhere, and when you do need one, it'll be on like a 6-hour cooldown like this is, and it's just no good. Right, okay, let's go to our egg. So, we've got our egg here, and it says egg incubation is 100 out of 100. It's incubated. Its health is 97. If you pop it back out again, it's going to start degrading its health. What you need to do is just basically throw it on the ground where you can press your typical buttons. If you forget what they are, right click and it'll show you, but obviously for us it's just the O button. And we throw it down there. Now, I'm going to tell you it's too cold. And its health is starting to drop down. So if we go into our pit of fire, we want to get ourselves some wood. We'll pop the wood in here, like so, and we light the fire. As you can see, it now says incubating. And you can see that the egg incubation is now dropping. We want that to go to 0. When it goes to 0, it's going to hatch. You can see it also says it spoils in 7.5 days. That's 7 days, 23 hours and 57 minutes. That depends again on your server settings, but if you look at the incubating, it'll tell you how long it's going to take us to incubate this egg. So we can now go out if we want to. All we want to do is make sure the incubation is dropping faster than the health is dropping, because if it's the other way around, the egg's going to die. But you've also got to bear in mind that the temperature changes. So at the moment it's early morning. Well, it's actually, I think it's actually quite late in the day now. If your egg wants a cooler temperature or the fire goes out, these will have an effect on the egg. So you've just got to bear that in mind, keep an eye on it, make sure you've got plenty of wood. So I'm going to go out now, I'm going to grab some more wood because we only have 25 in the box. And hopefully in 4 minutes time we'll have a hatchling. So we'll come back in about just under 4 minutes I think, so we can see the hatchling take place, and a couple of things we need to keep an eye out. But I'll see you all in a second. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we've got ourselves a little baby dodo, but as you can see, the baby dodo is red. Bear in mind, the baby dodo is an enemy, but it won't attack you because it's a baby. It can't do anything to you. However, if you just leave it as it is, it will die and nothing will happen to it, and unfortunately we'll lose it. If you go over it, it says imprint on baby Dino, baby dodo. You're imprinting yourself onto the dodo, but it now knows you are friendly. We're going to go ahead and do that. And I did miss what it was, so we're going to call this Dash Junior. When I'm typing, Dash Junior. There we go. Oh, it was female, so it's a good guess. Now you'll notice the health there is really low, and it's maturing, quite a fast pace. Now, if you'd have left this and wandered off, it's got no food. It's not, as you can see, there's no little marker above its name. It's not on the, you know, the trough. It's not being fed. So just bear that in mind. So you need to get yourself some food, and I'll just transfer over. There we go. Got plenty of food. So it's going to want cur, as you saw it said something there. Go ahead and put half, well, just under half there, that'll do. You can only carry 33, I think, actually. But you want to take note of what it says. So in 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 37 seconds, it's going to want cur. The likelihood is this dodo, because it's maturing so fast, will probably not need cur at all. It'll probably mature. So there's nothing we can do with this one. However, a dinosaur that matures at a slower pace or wants cur quicker will give you the option to give it cur. Depending again on what your server settings are or what your gameplay settings are, these are really advanced settings that you want to get into if you ever want to do it, and we will cover that at a later stage. But right now you don't need to worry about it. Just let it know. Just make note that it does happen and it is there. If it's set in such a way where you can give it cur, it'll give you a few options. Things like wants to go for a walk with you, wants certain foods, wants petting, wants kibble, which is why we're going to start looking at doing kibble. All these things it will ask to do. If you successfully do them in a set given amount of time, within a set given amount of time, the amount of times it requires, then you can get imprinting bonuses. So the bonus to the 3 stats that I mentioned will be higher. So if you have 100% imprint, which is what you want to go for, and the likelihood is the stats that you're getting the bonus of, which we might be able to see. Its health is at 40, and it's still growing, so it's going to go up even more. But if you can have a look at the inventory on this one, see, health at 40, so it's already at 40 health before it's even started growing, and it's more than likely because if we look at Pebbles, 120 health. It looks like it's took the health from Pebbles, which it usually does. I believe there's more than 3 stats, but I think it's like 3 plus every time it'll pick a certain one as well. Its health is going to go higher. Its stamina is already quite high. Oxygen as usual. All these things, if you have a look, so the melee damage 217. So if we compare that to, say, Pebbles, 217. Access inventory. 214, so it's already got stronger melee. So again, it's took the melee from both of them and give it a little bit of a bonus. Imprinting would have probably increased that bonus of 217 to something like 250, 300 or whatever it might be. But it's definitely something to bear in mind when you get to it. You can just see, we're definitely not going to get time because she's already a juvenile. Normally they're a little bit younger for a little bit longer. So be wary of that. Especially with bigger dinosaurs, they're very useful. And when you're doing breeding for like T-Rexes and stuff like that, you want to get the best stats you possibly can. And it does take a lot to do, and it takes a long time. So bear in mind, this is a real bit of a grind. If you're on a multiplayer server, the good thing is you can log off while somebody else is on, and you know the time will tick away. You can pop back on. Just bear in mind, it's still going to need resources. We don't need the fire anymore because it's hatched. It'll keep itself alive. But the main thing right now is making sure it's got food. It will eat through that very quickly. Now, because it's a juvenile, it is now on the trough, so we don't need to worry about feeding it food. If this dinosaur took longer to mature, then it will probably eat through that stack. That it can only hold a certain amount. So just bear in mind how much it can hold and how fast it's eating it. Don't forget it's at really low health, so it's going to heal, which means it's going to use more stamina, which means it's going to be able to eat more often. See, it's already eating again. So just keep an eye on that. You can easily lose dinosaurs. The other thing you can lose a dinosaur to is wandering. When that baby dinosaur was on red, thankfully it hadn't wandered off too far. But if it's a fast-paced dinosaur, it wanders a lot more, and it will wander out of the window, or the door, or whatever. It was following me. Because I'd imprinted, it then started following me. It also has its behaviour set to standard. Come up, behaviour. Attack your target, and the same follow distances and whatnot. It also has mating disabled, but it doesn't have wandering disabled. It still technically will wander. It will disable the wander, so now it will no longer wander. That's always on whenever you get a baby dinosaur, so be worried that because you will lose your dinosaur to wander off and you can't find them and they're going to die and, you know, you're going to lose another dinosaur, so just keep that in mind. We're going to change its stance to passive because this dinosaur will die within seconds, if not a split second, to a predator. Okay, so the maturity is at 25% there, so maturity... Let's have a look. How we're looking. At each stage you get to, the stats will increase. So now it's a juvenile, something will have increased on it. Without looking, it probably had already increased. It'll do another little bit of an increase at the next stage, which is like a senior stage to the juvenile. So what I'm going to do now is why was it raining inside my house? Do we have a leaky roof? Okay, it's fixed now. The easy thing to do with the wandering is, if this was in this situation and you had enough fuel in my fire, I'd have just shut the door. Like so. You know, and can't get out anywhere. It won't crawl through any gaps or anything like that. What I will say is, if it's on a foundation that's over a hole and you can't find your dinosaur, you may have to break the foundation. Just bear that in mind when you come to a later stage, when you're doing, you know, breeding a little bit more, you're going to want to start doing things like AC units or you know, a permanent breeding area. And you always kind of want them inside, because if you do them outside, they've got a risk of being killed by other dinosaurs wandering off. Or you can have like a little, you know, a little breeding pen if you want. Just bear in mind that wherever you set it, don't have it over a hole. So basically, where you built across with a foundation rather than to the board with a foundation, because sometimes it does glitch underneath it. If you've ever lost it, just bear that in mind. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fast forward a little bit just to kind of give you guys a look at how this is going to be when it's a little bit higher. But just before I do that, I will comment on, now that we've bred it, we've got ancestry. And as you can see, it's took the level 4 from Dash. So it's already at a low level dinosaur, and you'll find that the dinosaurs will be lower level slightly. They tend to be. Sometimes they do go a little bit higher, but they very, very rarely do. They'll go lower because when you level this dinosaur, so if you imagine if we level Dash up to Pebbles level, we've got another, what, 14 points that we can put into something. She's already at the level of Pebbles for stats. So what we can do is, because Pebbles the higher level, we can breed Dash Junior with Pebbles, and we can get hopefully another good strong dinosaur out of it, and then we can breed them two together, and then they obviously create a better dinosaur, and that's how you do. You're just taking basically the good, the good breed from the packs, and bear in mind as well there are there are things like badgers who breed anything between 1 to 5 badgers. I don't know whether it was a mod or a bug or something. I've seen 5 badgers being done before now. They tend to do 3 usually. There are some dinosaurs who give you more than 1 breed. There's also dinosaurs that don't lay eggs as well, but they'll incubate like humans do. So baby will progress in the female will give birth, and you've already got baby dinosaurs. We'll go into a little bit more detail when we come to breeding specific dinosaurs at the time during this guide. We'll probably move that on to the multiplayer side of things by that time, because when we're on the multiplayer side of things, we've got the server settings set quite nicely to show you some fantastic dinosaur levels and breeding that we can do. But I'm just going to fast forward now. We're going to have a look and see how our Dash Junior does when she's a little bit older, and see how it stacks up to Pebbles, and we may even consider breeding her again. Well, breeding Dash Junior. We're not breeding her again because obviously Dash bred. The other thing to point out as well is we could have given some more levels for our Dash Junior by upgrading Dash, but if you're just doing things like we're doing, which is breeding them for use for the eggs, and food as well, if you start getting massive dodo breeding, you've got food for days. You can just kill them off. If you don't want to kill them off, then I don't know, use them as a pack of collection, where you can put a lot of wood inside each one of them or something. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Another good thing as well is, as you can see, they're pooping a lot. When we come to doing food for ourselves that isn't meat, because we want to use our meat for our, for our narcotics, then we can start looking at. We'll do that while we're here. We can start looking at, using the feces to create compost to then create ourselves a farming plot. That's a little bit more in depth, and we'll get into that at a later stage. But I just wanted to go through breeding with you, so we've got some level of idea how to do it. It's a shorter video, it shouldn't take too long, but there are a few things that I wanted to point out. If you've got any questions or comments or anything whatsoever, please let me know in the comment section below. Again, and as always, if you want to get into more detail, or if you want to join the multiplayer server or anything like that, then please let me know in either the comment section or join us on the Discord, which will allow you to join others as well, which will be great. Well, welcome back everybody, and as you can see, we're just getting to the last 2% now of its maturation, and you can see it says it still wants carry in 56 minutes, so there's not a chance we're going to be able to imprint on our Dash Junior, unfortunately. But hopefully we get a good couple of little stat boosts. We've already got a good couple of stat boosts, so realistically we're probably going to get as much as we want out of this dodo. But as earlier mentioned, we could go ahead and we can level it up a little bit if we want to. We can breed it again if we want to. So there we go. So we've gone from an adolescent, which was the next part after being a juvenile, to being a full-fledged adult. And as you can see, it also coincided with its health as well. Its health was going up just as the maturation was going up. Melee damage and everything is exactly the same as it was. So that's going to be about it for this dinosaur, pretty much as is. Now, because we disabled the mating on Dash, but not on Pebbles, we can go ahead and we can behavior, enable mating, and straight away it's ready to mate. Are you close enough? You might not be close enough. Pop you a little closer without setting you on fire. There we go. You can see they're just not quite in range, so we just moved her over here. Straight away she's mating, and again you've got the same process as you had before. However, hopefully it should take the levels from we can actually increase levels on Pebbles, so let's just go ahead and do that, and we'll increase his health a little bit. So it's 131, so we'll see what we get from it. I believe her health is only at 40, but she's only a level 4, remember, so when we get a higher level we can put more points into it. Again, you're not going to get a massive boost from these. This is a very small system to be doing things with, but it just gives you that general idea how in approximately, 30-35 minutes-ish, give or take, you can have 3 dodos. If you needed the food, you can easily kill this dodo, get yourself a couple of meats, put it in the fire. I put the fire on just so you can actually see inside, because it is nice side out there, you can see there, dark. So you can see the effectiveness of it, obviously. We've got... Oh, she's laid an egg. Oh, oh, don't punch her. Pick up. Dodo egg. She's actually dropping dodo eggs. She's actually dropped a couple of dodo eggs. Because she's set on mating still. See how she's still set on mating? Even though she can't mate, she will drop dodo eggs. It's been a while, I will admit. It's been a while since I've had a lot of dodos, so they may just drop eggs anyway, without the mating being on. And that might be the case. I think it's fertilised dodo eggs that you get when you mate, but obviously she can't fertilise for another 5.5 hours or so. So we're just getting dodo eggs from her. with a second female dodo, we're going to get lots more eggs. And our fire's out. But I picked up some more wood. Let's go ahead and transfer half there. Inventory, go in here. Again, the coal is coal, so it's still useful, so don't worry about that. Okay, fertilized egg. You didn't need to pick it up if you didn't want to. You could have just left it there, but I just tend to just pick it up, and then we'll just drop it. You can see it's fertilized. It's got that yellow bar above. That yellow bar is the incubation, I believe. There we go. Pop it down. Too cold. You're gonna. It may be too cold outside, so we'll just pick it back up. As you can see, the egg health stays 98. Because it's night time, I think the fire just can't make it warm enough. So again, be wary of that. But that's it. She's now mated. She's got another level. We can go ahead and we can put levels in whatever we want. I just put it in health just so they don't die so quickly when you accidentally punch them, like I did with her dash here. There we go. So that's going to be it for this episode. As I say, I just wanted to go through a little simple, effective way of basically having dodos. So we'll go ahead and we can disable the mating so we don't have eggs going all over the place. We'll pick up the feces just so we can start collecting it because we're going to be using it at a later stage. That's not mine, this is my animal box. Go ahead and we'll pop these in there, like so. We've got the dodo eggs which we can't fit in. Well, that's fine. This stuff does stack up if you had the mod, but it doesn't when you don't. It's a pain in the ass, but let's not worry about that. Okay, let it spoil. Let's just get rid of it. Drop it. Don't want it. There we go. I can put my eggs in. So hopefully this has kind of helped you out to breed. I'm not gonna lie, I don't tend to do dodos. Just purely because I don't do kibble. I feel like the bonus you get from kibble is negligible when it comes to doing things like that. Higher level, yes, it does make a big difference, but me personally, the faff it is to get kibble, I just go ahead and just take the hit and still breed decent dinosaurs. And we've had big dinosaurs on the server as well, but it's there for anybody who wants to see how it works. So I'll try and cover as much of it as I can. But until next time, everybody, take care for now. And as I say, if you've got any questions whatsoever, please let me know in the comment section below. Join the server if you, the Discord, if you want to find out more. You've also got the multiplayer server if you want to get involved. But until next time, take care for now. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.